Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So fully loaded docket for today. We are checking in with Discover in their 5X categories. We have some US Bank nonsense going on and forced product changes, an American Express survey that we can now overreact to, a brand new credit card from Chase and DoorDash to take a look at, Chase adding pay yourself back to other cards, and if you're new here or a frequenter of the show, stay tuned to the end because we are in March. So you know what that means. The channel's Credit Card Madness tournament is officially kicking off next week, so I will give you the full tease on what to expect to close out the show for those who want to participate and help us crown a new champion. So of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with Discover. Discover is basically the sister card, cousin card, whatever you want to call it, to the Chase Freedom side as far as the 5X rotating quarterly categories go. Previously, Discover released this as one giant calendar to start the year. They stopped doing this, and now they release it quarterly. So we do have the quarterly categories for Q2 of 2023. Discover sent this over in a press release the other day. So you're looking at restaurants and wholesale clubs this go around. Again, you do have to opt into these categories, and it is 5% back on $1,500 in combined purchases that quarter. And if you have multiple Discover cards, Discover Cash cards, you will have to opt in on both of them. And another one here to keep in mind that wholesale clubs is good because generally it is excluded from groceries. However, the press release does go on to say, remember to check with your wholesale club if they accept our card, which is really them trying to say, hey, Costco does not accept anything aside from Visa cards. So that is unfortunate. I know we have a big Costco faithful contingent out there, but just keep that in mind. But overall, on the surface, these are fine. We really don't know how fine they are until Chase comes out with theirs, but I imagine folks with wholesale memberships, should be fine. There shouldn't even really need to be a spend strategy to get one or to max it out. And of course, if you don't have a wholesale membership, then you can always go with someone who has it, what have you. You can probably work that out or maybe even get a trial membership or something like that. So that is Discover. Now we're taking a look at US Bank and fan favorite Cash Plus card. So over the past weekend on Reddit and MyFICO forums, we had folks reporting in that they were getting letters from US Bank saying that US Bank was taking their Cash Plus card and force converting it to an Altitude Go. Now, admittedly, I've gone through some of the threads. It's been a few days since I checked back. I don't have a ton of information. We would need more information to get to the real potential reason why. The truth is, obviously the bank does not need a reason other than they want to do anything to your account or product. Then you have the right to decline the change simply by canceling that product potentially. But I don't know if these folks had multiple Cash Plus cards or they were inactive Cash Plus cards or what. I have a Cash Plus card. I haven't gotten a letter like that yet. Mine is kind of a set it and forget it on my gym membership. Now, the Altitude Go isn't a bad card by any means, but again, you can see there's usually more advantageous to have more 5% cards than it is an Altitude Go, and obviously you just want to apply for the Altitude Go outright. Chase had done this a while back with Freedoms, trying to force change them to the Freedom Unlimited and selling it as an upgrade. You were able to call in and say, hey, no, slow your roll there, put it back, and they would. So it's yet to be seen if US Bank is allowing that, or should they're just saying it's a take it or leave it deal, which again is always unfortunate, but they do have the right to do. So more of an awareness piece. If you are a US Bank customer, if you have some of these cards, keep your eye out for that, and I will do the same. Of course, if you have gone through this, you have seen it, then definitely let us know down below what your experience was. Now we're going to take a look at American Express next. We have two stories. The first one is going to come to us from Luke's Points and Miles, our very own Luke of YouTube here, friend of the channel, and a few other commenters as well who put me onto this. But he made a full video saying basically he was going to cancel his business gold card with American Express, going through the whole phone-in process, and they had actually offered him the option to downgrade it to a Blue Business Plus card, which is, interesting because historically, well, it's still true as far as I know. Green, gold, platinum on both personal and business are still charge cards, even though American Express has gone through great lengths to hide that fact for, whatever reason, likely to push their own buy now, pay later services. And I believe the language can kind of scare people off potentially, but they're still classified as charge cards technically, meaning you have to pay them off at the end of the statement cycle, right? A Blue Business Plus is very much a credit card. Now, the only thing they have in common is that they both earn the same common points currency, which is membership rewards points. And the product change rules for Amex, at least as far as I knew before this, used to be one, you couldn't change a charge card to a credit card because one has a credit limit, the other doesn't. And then it had to be the same points currency, MR to MR, cash to cash. So obviously this change would satisfy one of those two requirements, but it looks like they are now letting that be an option. Similarly, we had a good friend of the show, viewer of the show here, write in and said he got the inverse where he was actually offered an upgrade. I can't remember, it was like maybe 90,000 MR points to upgrade from a Blue Business Plus to an Amex Business Gold card as well. So now it looks like that is a product change option. I don't expect some kind of wide announcement about it really, but you could potentially see upgrade options, if you had, the Blue Business Plus. So we'll need, more information on that. More data points as this progresses. So it's an interesting move by American Express because, again, one of the biggest knocks on them is that there is really no downgrade path, good path. More so on the personal side, where you see folks jump on the Amex train really early because the cards are cool and then you have nowhere to go, but it's also one of your older cards. So I don't know what the comp would be on the personal side. I guess they have some of the everyday cards that technically earn MR points you could probably do. So it'll be interesting to see if they follow suit on that as well. So thank you to Luke and those who wrote in as well with that. Now, the other Amex story is an American Express survey. Now, I didn't get one of these myself, but again, we have a few other folks. Again, another viewer of the show. I think it's the same guy. I should call him Captain Amex here. He actually got a survey from American Express about the Blue Business Plus, and they might even be asking about the Blue Business Cash, which is a card I just got. It's only like 2 weeks old, though, where Amex is basically saying, hey, how do you feel if we gave you like 2.5x back on purchases of above $2,000? And, of course, you would still earn that 2% or 2x back on everything up to $50,000 in spend a year. Now, of course, they're not going to get any negative feedback about that, right? I don't see anyone saying, no, this would be horrible. They didn't have any other proposed changes like annual fee shifts or anything like that. So when you take a look at it, I think Capital One, the Spark line, and even Chase and the Ink Premier, could potentially be threats to the Amex's, classic business card, which is a flat 2%, either MR points or cash. Now, granted, those other options come with lofty annual fees. The Ink Premier having basically $200 annual fee, and then there's multiple versions of the Capital One Spark Cash card. They have the miles one as well. So they could need to boost that card up a little bit to make it more competitive. I think that would, be a good idea. But again, it's just a survey and it's American Express. I don't really see them just offering that for nothing or without a cap. So hopefully more details do come, but it would be nice to see. I wouldn't say no to that as a new Blue Business Cash card holder. Now we're going to move to the House of Diamond for our last two stories here. So the first one sees Chase and Southwest partnering to add Pay Yourself Back to the Southwest credit card line. Now, Pay Yourself Back allows you to take, the points you would have earned, in this case Southwest miles, and redeem them for specific purchases. Very similar to with Pay Yourself Back that we've seen on the Sapphire cards. They recently did this with Aeroplan, and I wasn't aware, but I believe you can actually do Pay Yourself Back specific to the annual fee on United cards. So this time they're adding it to Southwest. So this time it's not as good, I would say. You can redeem at 1 cent per point to the annual fee of some of your Southwest cards, and then dining is 0.8 cents. There is a cap at $200 a year as a statement credit, and dining only goes through the end of March of this year. So really, to me, this is kind of more of, I think this is offering, some of these card holders, some of these airlines a way to just get some of these unused points balances off of these outstanding points balances off of their books. Honestly, I like the annual fee redemption. I like that you can cover it, the annual fee with points. The dining one's not good. I think the majority of people can get much better value booking regular travel, but if you just have a ton of Southwest miles, this could come in handy. Now, again, the same with the Aeroplan story. I don't think it was their intent that you could just take all your Southwest miles, the miles that you just earned without, the credit cards. But I also don't know if there's any stopgap in place to keep you from doing that. But again, this one isn't as good as the Aeroplan, where I think everything on Aeroplan was at least 1 cent a point. So I'd consider the annual fee option, honestly, especially if, from all the flight delays, if you just recently came into some Southwest points and you could use them. I think that could be potentially interesting as well. But overall, I think this is more so an option for them to just de-risk and get points off the books, for years of them being pent up, unused points potentially. So that's my guess. But if you have a Southwest card, let me know what you think of this and if you're planning to use it. And again, I'm still curious to see how they expand Pay Yourself Back, or now they're just kind of using it as a throwaway perk to help out some of their partner cards. I'm interested to see if it comes to any of the hotel cards next. So we have one other Chase story. This was an interesting one. We finally have the Chase DoorDash credit card. It's been rumored forever. I think I've put it in prediction videos for 2 or 3 years now. We've seen them ramping up to it. As you know, they've continued to put DoorDash credits on some of the Sapphire cards as well. So the card is officially out and available for application. So here we'll take a look at it. Overall, I don't think it's that bad. Those, people will probably give it a hard time. But you're talking about no annual fee. Your multiplier is going to be 4x on DoorDash and caviar orders, 3 back on regular dining, 2 back on groceries, and 1 back on everything else. The benefits: you get Dash Pass membership with $10,000 in spend per year for free, and there are also no foreign transaction fees. In addition to that, if you were to sign up, you're looking at 1 free year of Dash Pass and then a $100 cash bonus when you spend $500 in the first 3 months. I believe Dash Pass is about $96, I want to say, and that's going to get you things like waived delivery fees, I think better pricing, special member perks, things like that. So overall, I don't think it's that bad of a card, honestly. I think when things come out like this, they get such a bad rap in groups like this because we're looking at it as, why would you ever burn a 524 slot on this card? You can go buy DoorDash gift cards at 5% back with other cards, and all of that is true, and you would be correct. I'm not going to get this card. I don't want it, but I think for the person who this is for, this card is pretty good. The $10K a year to get Dash Pass free is a bit much, honestly. I don't think that's worth it, even with these multipliers that they have for anyone, no matter how much you like DoorDash. But again, I don't think it's a bad card. I do think Chase does really well with co-branded cards. I would have liked to see the DoorDash be 5x to match kind of like the Instacart, the Amazon co-branded cards that they have, because again, those cards might not be for everyone, but those are still top-of-the-line co-branded cards for people using that service. So I really don't think this is a bad card given who it's for, and so sometimes I feel like these things just get bashed almost unfairly for us looking for cards that benefit us. No, it's not Ultimate Reward points, anything like that, but again, the person this is for doesn't care about Ultimate Reward points or travel or 524. They just like their DoorDash as a simple card they can get an elevated multiplier. They're not thinking about, the fees in DoorDash are so high or whatever. So that's kind of my thought on it. I do wonder whether, I still think they could potentially leave the DoorDash perks on the other Sapphire cards or on the other cards in general to try to help cross-sell it. That partnership seems to be going well for them, so I don't know that they would end it. But if you are interested in the card, let me know. If you want a full review on it, I can do one. I don't necessarily know that it's necessary, but I'm a man of the people, so if you want one, let me know. We can make that happen. So that is the news for this week. Fully loaded show. Now, it is March. So in March, every year for the past 2 years, the channel here has done Credit Card Madness, which is our take on, March Madness in the NCAA world. That we don't have 64 teams, we have 16. And we pick one credit card winner, the best credit card, as voted by you, the viewers at home. So next week, next Tuesday, we will have our qualifying round, which is basically a list of about 50 different credit cards. DoorDash card will probably not be on the list, but you can write it in if you want. And you go ahead and you pick 14 credit cards that you want to see compete in the tournament. Why 14? Well, because the gold card won last year, so that's an automatic first round qualifier. It's going to be the 1 seed by default of winning the tournament. And there will be one write-in card as well, the fan choice. So you could write in the DoorDash card if you feel really strongly about it. And that will be our field of 16. So, cards will be ranked, seeded based on how many votes they get in qualifying. And then each week we'll do a new round. So I'll open up a new form to you through Google, a Google survey or Google form. Then you go ahead and you just pick which cards you want to advance. You can vote however you want. Coolest card, your favorite card. You can get strategic with it, who you don't want to see in the next round, things like that. So we play through the whole month of March. We'll play every Tuesday. I think we technically go into the first week of April, but it's probably fine. Who's counting? So Sunday will still be the same. Tuesday will be the tournament, and then Thursday will still be the same, like a regular, specific episode. So it's a lot of fun, and I think it's for the core hardcore faithfuls of credit cards. But it's a lot of fun to play. It's something different to do. And right now we have to see if Amex is going to three-peat and make it a dynasty, or is Cashback going to get in the game and finally overthrow them? But of course, that is all up to you. So we will start that off next Tuesday or I guess this Tuesday if you're watching it on Sunday. So, of course, you want to go ahead and get subscribed to that so you can follow along. I will put down a link to the previous playlist for last year's tournament if you want to get caught up as well, so you can know where everyone stands. But again, new year, everyone starts at 0, and you got to go ahead and earn it. So, looking forward to playing that with you guys next week. Of course, this has been the news and the tournament plug. So, of course, if you found it interesting, consider subscribing, or if you're just interested in the tournament, of course. And if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. Let me know what you think of these stories, what else you've seen going on in the news, and let me know who your early round pick is for the tournament. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon on this week.